Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Now basically I'm going on a diet because I think I'm a little bit overweight and the doctor says I need to lose 6 kilograms. So I thought, why not share some nice vocab with my friends, all of you guys, on words associated with dieting. Lots of nice expressions. Now for those of you who are preparing for say state exams or like Cambridge exams like the FCE, CAE, this stuff here is going to make a big difference to your vocab. And I'll show you at the end how we can combine it and make a really natural piece that will get you an A easily. Simple as that. So let's go through all the bits and pieces with my examples. Okay, we have now the most simple ones: to lose weight, to lose fat, to lose maybe 5 kilograms. Or sadly, if you're not dieting, you can put on weight, you put on 5 kilograms, or I've put on a lot of fat over the last few months. Of course, in England, we don't usually say to someone, you've put on a lot of weight, where unfortunately my German friends would say that because they're very direct, but that's the way life is. Now we have to be on a diet. So I can say, someone might ask me, Paul, would you like to have a Big Mac or a Burger King? Sorry, I can't, I'm on a diet. If I want to make that sound a bit stronger, I can say I'm on a very strict diet. I like that word strict. We know the word strict, like a strict teacher or a strict disciplined parents, for example. But we can collocate by saying a strict diet. I can say, well, if I want to start a diet, we prefer to say with a sort of phrasal verb to go on a diet. Like next week, I'm going to go on a very strict diet where I'm only going to drink water and eat lemons, for example. Now, if you are on a diet, of course, you want to make sure that you follow your diet, or as we say, you need to stick to the diet. So like stick like to the board so it doesn't come off. So if you stick to your diet, you always do it, you don't stop. So I need to stick to my diet for about 6 until I die, basically, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. I'm quite old now. So the next one, we can take this verb to reduce. So you can say, I need to reduce the calories, or I need to reduce my calorie intake, for example, or I need to reduce the amount of rubbish I consume. I need to reduce the amount of rubbish I eat. Again, if I want to be a bit more kind of informal, I can use the phrasal verb to cut down. I have on in brackets here, and I'll tell you why. As an intransitive verb, I can say, I need to cut down. I eat too much, I really need to cut down. But if I need to have a noun after this phrasal verb, I need on. I need to cut down on the number of cigarettes I smoke, or I need to cut down on the amount of Big Macs I consume every day. For example, very, very useful phrasal verb. And again, if I want to be a bit more formal, I can say to consume fewer Big Macs, I need to consume fewer calories, for example. I like this expression here that we often use in everyday English, to watch your waistline. So if you watch your waistline, it means you pay special attention to your diet, you follow your diet strictly, and you watch your waistline here to make sure it doesn't get bigger. Okay, we have then, to maintain a good level of health. It's a nice expression that you could use in an exam. So imagine you're doing an FCE speaking, part 3, talking to your partner, and you're talking about health issues or whatever, and you could actually say, well, I think it's extremely important to maintain a good level of health by sticking to a strict diet. That way you'll get healthier and you'll have less health problems. Again, combination's perfect, and I'll give you some more combinations at the end. We have to be underweight. So if you're underweight, I think you've dieted a bit too much. You're basically that thin and the wind might blow you away. We also have the word fat, as we know. Now, chubby is an interesting word. Now, chubby is not like fat, but it's basically where you're getting a bit fat. So maybe a bit chubby around the face, a bit chubby around the belly. So a bit of fat, but it's not fat. Of course, the sort of standard word is overweight. Like a doctor would tell you, you're a bit overweight, so you need to cut down on the amount of food you consume. The word obese is the clinical sort of medical word for extremely fat. There are many obese people in the world, and it's kind of quite a bad thing. The noun of obese is obesity. You might hear in newspapers the obesity epidemic. Obesity is widespread throughout the world. Now the word bloated I wanted to include here, and it's a very nice word. Many of you probably haven't heard this. If you go to my Instagram page for my school, you'll actually see a video on this. Bloated is when sometimes maybe you eat something that your stomach doesn't like, and it's just kind of, like a balloon out here. It's not that you're usually this fat. Maybe you've eaten something which has reacted badly with your stomach, so you're feeling a bit bloated, you undo your belt, and then in the morning you're fine after some like pills or whatever. Now, again, also some nice vocab to include into your exam. Processed food, that's the kind of stuff that you find in a lot of stuff in English supermarkets, unfortunately, which you put into the microwave for 5 minutes and it's full of crap and shit, seriously. Ready-made meals, and unfortunately in England, a lot of families rely on ready-made meals because they're so cheap and easy to prepare, again, in the microwave for 5 minutes. And again, I like this structure here. You know, for example, like, let's just say, I don't know, this cake is high in sugar, it's high in fats, it's high in calories, meaning there's a lot of. So again, it's a very nice sort of collocation to use. Here, I've got some other nice sort of expressions here. This is a more sort of informal one, to pile on the pounds. So it's a kind of informal expression, meaning to get fatter. So if you're piling on the pounds, you need to go on a diet, like immediately. Like, for example, when I go on holiday, I always pile on the pounds. I just like to have 2 weeks of eating rubbish because it's holiday. We have to burn fat, which also means to sort of, you know, to lose weight, to lose fat. So you go to the gym to burn fat. So if you do some cardio, do some weightlifting, that can help you burn fat very effectively. We have to maintain a balanced diet. Again, a nice expression. So it's very important to maintain a balanced diet. So yes, you do need to eat your vegetables, your meat, and you do need to make sure that you have a bit of fruit. So it's kind of balanced. So you can have sugar sometimes, but not much. And again, we should do things in moderation. If you do something in moderation, it means, well, when you're on a strict diet, it's okay sometimes to have a bit of sugar, to have a milkshake or a bit of ice cream, as long as it's in moderation. So not constantly, like maybe once a week or twice a week, or in my case, twice a day. To treat yourself sometimes, or to treat yourself at times. So of course, when you're on a strict diet for months and months, I think it's impossible not to treat yourself sometimes. If you've spent a month eating just vegetables and, you know, lettuce and, I don't know, like flowers or whatever, sometimes you need to treat yourself. It's okay to have a Big Mac sometimes. It's okay to have a KFC, you know, just like say once a day or once a month, I should say. And this expression here, maybe you've heard this, to go cold turkey. Now, to go cold turkey, we can use this when you basically want to, say, cut down on something or, you know, to lose weight. Like, so if, for example, you're a smoker or you're eating a lot of rubbish and you go cold turkey, it means you don't reduce or cut down on the amount you eat. It means you stop immediately. So if you're smoking, you don't go from 10 to 5 cigarettes. If you go cold turkey, you stop completely. And it's a very, very nice English expression that we use all the time. So let's have a look about how we can combine some of these if you were doing like an FCE or a CAE speaking exam, or even a written exam as well. So we could say, okay, why is it important to diet? Well, nowadays, many people seem to be gaining weight because of a pretty basic sedentary lifestyle, just watching TV or sitting in front of the computer. And many people are told by doctors to watch their waistline and to maybe go on a diet and stick to it religiously, because otherwise they'll end up maybe becoming obese if they don't control it. It's very important to maintain a good level of health. So not only should we, say watch our waistline or, consume full calories, but also maybe go to the gym and do some cardio. But of course, at times we should treat ourselves, because I don't think it's possible to go cold turkey. Because if we treat ourselves at times, maybe eat rubbish in moderation, then I think that, we would probably stick to a diet quite strictly and not give up after a month or so. Now, guys, can you see what I've just done? I've just spoken the most natural English. Just by combining a lot of this with a bit of extra English, that's how you get an A in the exam. It's about learning some of these expressions and combining them. So what I suggest you do after this video, if you are interested, just copy some of these phrases down and make your own sentences and play with them, and you can leave them in the comments below and I'll have a look at what some of you have written. So guys, I hope that was useful. I'm going to stick to my diet. I've been doing it for 1 week already and I can honestly say I'm failing. So that's the way life is. So guys, give a like and I'll see you very soon for the next video. Goodbye.